Hello everybody and welcome back to the table. Today we're taking a look at the CRKT Squid XM, and this version right here is an exclusive to Blade HQ. And what makes this knife a little different, of course, are these blue micarta scales on it. Looks very classy, very nice. So I'm going to compare the Squid XM here to some other earlier model squids that I have. These are all the smaller version of the knife, and see how this one stacks up. So the Squid XM is not a new model by any means, but this particular version of it I think is going to be one of the nicer ones you can get your hands on, especially if you're a fan of this blue micarta color. So taking a look at the knife, this one has a flipper action, whereas the original smaller squids were primarily thumb stud openers. We can see we're all blacked out, so blacked out D2 blade. The Burnley design logo is on there, the model number, so this is the 2495M, M probably standing for micarta, but we do have the dual thumb studs. We have some jimping up here on the top, and the reason why I like this squid actually a little better than the smaller versions is because it's a larger size, fits the hand a little bit better than the smaller knives do. So as we can see, fits the hand. Overall length is a little over 7 inches, so we can pull out the ruler right here and just confirm that. So we can see our blade length for the Squid XM is about 3 inches long. And like I said, it's a little bit over 7 inches if you're looking at that lanyard hole right there. So that is our length on this knife. We can check out the weight as well. So let's pull out the scale here. All right, so we are weighing in at 3.67 ounces, and let's do some weight comparisons. So while we have the scale out, we have the Squid XM with this micarta scale, 3.67 ounces. That's not very heavy. This one right here is all steel frame lock. It's the smaller squid, of course, and this one right here has the frag pattern handles. So with the steel frame lock, let's see the weight comparison, 3.47. So it's only a little bit lighter weight than the XM, even though it's smaller as a whole. This one right here is, of course, copper scaled. So we can see solid copper scales on this one. This one right here, I believe this one also had a D2 blade. And we can do the weight on this one. Feeling heavier? Yeah, it's actually a little bit heavier, 3.7 ounces for the copper scaled squid, original size. And one more, this is going to be the lightweight on the table. We can see this squid right here. This one is actually carbon fiber scales and a titanium frame lock. So they didn't make too many of these ones, I don't think. But I know this one's going to be the lightest of the bunch just by hand feel alone. But we can see, yeah, 2.17 ounces. So it is significantly lighter in weight, even though it is the exact same size dimensionally as these two models right here. But I do think the Squid XM fills a pretty nice role in this lineup because it is much larger than these knives here, but it's not super heavyweight in comparison to them either. So I think this is a great option for everyday carry. I do like the addition of the flipper tab. That does make it very nice and smooth. Does appear to be running on bearings now as well, whereas these three knives, these ones are running on Teflon washers, so the plastic washers. So that is kind of a big upgrade in materials right there. And what's really nice about this, even though the weight is 3.67 ounces, they still managed to put a full steel liner underneath this micarta scale. And I suppose that's for strength, because sometimes when you just have a bare, thin micarta scale, there can be some flex, especially when you're working with production knives like this. They're not necessarily always going to be the build quality there where they can have it consistently not flex like that. I've seen some other knives be recalled because of similar issues with flex in the micarta. And so they put steel in there just to reinforce it. We do have the deep carry pocket clip, same pocket clip as in all the other squids. This one does not have the CRKT logo on it. It does carry very discreet, so really no issues there at all. If you like this blacked out look, I think you're really going to like this knife. But what we can also do is check out this squid with these beautiful blue micarta scales compared to some other knives that also have blue micarta scales. This one right here is kind of out of left field. This is the Bearfly, and this one also has a D2 steel blade, beautiful stonewash finish, but look at that micarta. Let's hold them up side by side next to each other. So we have the Bearfly. I believe this is from Jufu, which is one of those Chinese brands. but you can take a look at the difference in the micarta texture. And that's one of the neat things about micarta. Depending on how they finish the material, you can get any kind of a variance in color and appearance there. So this one being an axis lock style knife, we have scales on both sides, full steel liners. But I do kind of like this drifted out finish. I do like the one on the Squid as well. They both look really good. So both a vibrant, bright blue color. And we also have one other knife on the table. Believe it or not, this one is actually also the denim blue micarta. But what I actually did to this one, this is the QSP Penguin. So very nice, very well-renowned everyday carry knife. With these denim micarta scales, I actually disassembled the knife. I took the denim micarta and I boiled it essentially to clean it off. And so the kind of the side effect of that is we got this kind of stonewashed denim look. So it's kind of like a worn-in pair of jeans now. So comparing the two, it almost doesn't look blue at all. You know, it looks almost like a white micarta. But sometimes when you do clean the scales off, it does take away some of that color. And what tends to happen as you use the knife, the color does tend to return because it interacts with the oils on your hands as you're working with the knife. So what actually really impressed me here is the size comparison between the Squid and the QSP Penguin. Because of course both have 3-inch blades. Both are about 7 inches overall in length. And of course we'll throw the bear fly up there just for comparison's sake, and heck, we'll compare one of the little mini squids next to it too. And now these aren't mini squids, they actually do make a smaller, even more diminutive squid size. So I do not own all of the squids in the lineup. There's the mini squid that has an even smaller blade, and there are the super expensive Italian made squids that have M390. The blade is a little bit between the two models here. It's about 2.7 inches long or something, so it's a little bit smaller, but the Lion Steel made models cost a lot of money. They got M390, titanium, more micarta. So I'm probably not going to end up picking up one of those because I think the XM right here, the Squid XM, fills a lot of the need for people who would want the Squid design as an everyday carry knife. So I do like they kept the thumb stud, so it does give you that option to open it either way. And it's a pretty good opener regardless. Like once you get past the detent, the knife is going to deploy. So I haven't had too many issues with it. We can check out the centering as well. Let me move these to the side. There we go. Centering is pretty nice. And that is exactly what I would expect from a knife that is running on bearings. In terms of blade play, we can see there's really no blade play at all. The blade is also very sharp right out of the box. And being a D2 steel with this coated blade, you're not going to get very much corrosion or any issues with this knife in particular. The lockup is also full and solid. So you can kind of see right there, right here. So no issues with that. Well, maybe not full. That was probably a bad choice of words, but it is solid. I don't think it's going to close on me. Feels pretty secure in hand. So this is the Squid XM from CRKT. Just wanted to share my first thoughts, first impressions of this knife because it is an exclusive to Blade HQ. I don't think it's a limited run. They still have them in stock, and it's been in stock for well more than a week now, so I don't think they're going away. But that being said, if they are somewhat limited, once they do go out of stock, you may have to wait a while before they come back. So the Squid XM with the gorgeous blue denim micarta. Love that material. Tell me what you think about it. How do you think it compares to the other knives on the table? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Have a nice day, everyone. See ya.